we are following some other breaking news on this Friday. New evidence in the 2013 death of a Valdosta teenager.
Investigators are telling First Coast News they have new audio recordings in the Kendrick Johnson case, which was just reopened 1 week ago. On your side's Troy Kless. He joins us live. And Troy, you spoke with the family spokesperson about this.
Yeah, that's right, Katie. He says the tape contains a confession to the killing of Kendrick Johnson. Investigators say the teenager's death was accidental, but family has long believed that he was murdered. New hope after a difficult 8 years for Kendrick Johnson's family, says Marcus Coleman.
I know that we're in a better place than we were June 2013. When the case was closed.
The circumstances of the case, a teenager found dead rolled up in a gym mat, have always been mysterious, but no charges were ever filed. Coleman says the audio recording was obtained from a tipster who charged them for it. He says the recording contains a confession. A partial audio transcript provided to First Coast News quotes an unnamed person saying, "They are going to catch me," and Kendrick didn't deserve that.
And we've been asked to authenticate what is contained in it and the source of it, so we're presently working on that.
Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Paul confirmed he received the recording Wednesday and believes it's worth examining.
We didn't hand over an automated voice pieced together recording. You know, we handed over what we believe is a Caucasian male stating his involvement and very fearful and tearful, so we need to know that.
And we will continue to keep you updated with the latest on this recording, just another chapter in this controversial case. Reporting live, Troy Kless, First Coast News, on your side.
Ryan Anthony Domek Hernandez gave a sworn affidavit attesting to what happened to Kendrick Johnson on January 10, 2013, and he passed his polygraph test with flying colors. On August 6, 2017, Ryan Anthony Domek Hernandez signed a sworn affidavit. On August 18, 2017, he was arrested for criminal trespass. He later recanted his testimony. In my view, that sequence reflects pressure and intimidation. If that's not true, release the documentation proving his recantation was voluntary and uncoerced. Ryan Hall has been mentioned in several witness statements, and he failed his polygraph test.
There is a pattern in the Kendrick Johnson case that cannot be ignored. It is not a single rumor. It is not one disgruntled witness. It is not one anonymous tip. It is repetition. The same names appearing across independent sources. Ryan Hall's name appears in the anonymous email that surfaced with traceable metadata, an IP address, and browser signature that could have been forensically examined. Ryan Hall's name appears again in the sworn affidavit of Ryan Anthony Domek Hernandez, executed under penalty of perjury, where he states that Brandon Bell told him that Ryan Hall witnessed what happened in the gym. Ryan Hall's name appears again in the sworn deposition testimony of Aaliyah Griffin, where she testified under oath that statements were made implicating Brian Bell and that threats were allegedly spoken, including that another student could end up like Kendrick. 3 separate sources, 3 different contexts, the same name. Then there is Brian Bell. Brian Bell's name appears in the anonymous email. Brian Bell's name appears in the sworn affidavit of Ryan Domek Hernandez, where a 45-pound weight or dumbbell is alleged to have been used. Brian Bell's name appears in Aaliyah Griffin's sworn deposition testimony, and Brandon Bell is repeatedly referenced in sworn statements as the source of alleged admissions. At what point does repetition stop being coincidence and start being a red flag? Now layer that over the timeline. The official discovery is documented as January 11, 2013. Yet the language used in reports and response documentation creates friction. There is dispatch language referring to a code blue. There is EMT documentation referring to cardiac arrest. There are early observations noting rigor mortis had already set in. Rigor is not immediate, it is physiological, and it raises questions about time of death alignment with the official discovery window. There are also acknowledged surveillance time discrepancies that require correction. When a timeline is stable, it strengthens conclusions. When a timeline contains inconsistencies, it demands deeper scrutiny. Now add credibility testing. Polygraphs are not proof, they are investigative tools, but they are used to measure credibility and determine who warrants deeper examination. Ryan Domek Hernandez reportedly passed a polygraph examination. Ryan Hall reportedly failed one. Again, not proof, but a credibility contrast. If one witness passed and another failed, and both were central to disruptive allegations, why were those disruptive statements dismissed instead of exhaustively reconciled? Were phones subpoenaed? Were text messages pulled? Were digital communications forensically examined? Was surveillance metadata fully analyzed? Was the weight in the gym ever tested? Were all named individuals re-interviewed under oath after affidavits surfaced? When the same names appear across an email, a sworn affidavit, a sworn deposition, and recorded witness claims, was this investigation built to follow evidence wherever it led, or was it built to protect a conclusion? This is not about rumor. This is about sworn testimony. This is about documented statements. This is about evidence that demanded reconciliation. If they were right, then explain why the investigation did not expand. Because repetition is not noise. Repetition is a signal, and silence is not resolution. Silence is protection. Now here is the call to action. Justice for Kendrick Johnson will not come from whispers. It will come from pressure. It will come from transparency demands. So ask the questions, request the records, contact the officials, demand independent review, share the sworn testimony. Stop letting this case be buried under accident without reconciliation, because at this point, this is bigger than one family. Kendrick Johnson represents every parent who expects their child to walk into a school and walk back out alive. He represents every community that expects truth from law enforcement. He represents every citizen who believes investigations should follow evidence, not protect narratives. Justice for Kendrick Johnson is not about emotion. It is about accountability. And accountability does not expire. Keep asking, keep pressing, keep demanding documentation until every contradiction is reconciled, until every lead is exhausted, until justice is not a slogan, but a result. Justice for Kendrick Johnson.